Hello everyone, this is Nancy from Brookson Farm in Ottawa. I wanted to share with you how I use HorseNotes for our extensive breeding program. I'm going to use this broodmare named Sorrento, and the section that I want to show you is called Reproduction. So I click on Reproduction and it takes me to the main Reproduction section. In here I have access to data records for pregnancy checks, inseminations, follicle tracking, breeding history, and vaccines. I love this part below because at an instance, I get an overview about this mare. It automatically takes my last insemination date and does some math for me, so it'll provide me with an estimated due date based on a standard of 342 days of gestation. I can easily change the gestation date to 335 if, for instance, this mare has previously shown a pattern of going early. And when I change this, notice how it automatically calculates a new date below. I also really like knowing exactly when the mare is going to be at 320 days, and HorseNotes automatically calculates this for me. So day 320 is a magic number, and that's when a foal is considered to be viable. So even though it may be born early, the likelihood of it surviving is high. And when our mares hit that 320 day, we like to move them into the foaling stalls as a precaution. And even if they're not showing that they're ready by looking at visual signs or their milk testing, we still like to move them over. And so I really like having this number because it's very helpful to know. Now, I'm going to walk you through the different record keeping options here. So let's start with follicle tracking. When I add a record to follicle tracking, I can record the date as well as the size of follicles on both the left and the right ovary. I can enter data on consistency of the follicles and enter a T-score. There's also a spot here where I can record data on the cervix, uterine tone, and whether or not there's any fluid present in this mare. I can also add any notes here. So for example, if this mare did have any fluid, I would enter that I've done a lavage here in the notes section. Of course, as with all HorseNotes records, I can attach a picture, for example, of an ultrasound scan. So now let's go back by clicking on the Repro icon at the bottom, and we'll have a look at insemination history. Here's a record from last year. It shows which stallion this mare was bred to. I have notes about the timing of the insemination and a note that the semen looked good. I can enter a next due date to get a reminder if, for example, I wanted to be reminded in 16 days to preg check this mare. It'll automatically send me that reminder. And this is a great spot also to attach a picture of the semen report that you would get with your shipment. If I click back on Repro again, now let's take a look at pregnancy checks. Here I can enter whether the mare is pregnant or not, as well as if a heartbeat is present or not. I note how many days this ultrasound is taken at. So in this case, this is a 16-day embryo. And I can enter the next due date so that I can be reminded at 30 days to come check for a heartbeat. Again, here's a great spot to upload a photo of that ultrasound and that embryo. Let's go back and have a look at breeding history, which is where I record the foals produced by this mare. I put in the name, registry, date of birth, color, sex, and of course upload a cute picture because he's so cute. The last thing that I have to show you regarding this mare reproduction section is that it pulls vaccines from the mare's health section. Since we give more vaccines to our pregnant mares, it's handy to have these records accessible in this section. So I can check, for example, when this mare was last given a pneumobort injection or when she's due next. So that's all I have to show you about the mare reproduction portion of HorseNotes. I hope this helps you get started, and stay tuned for more how-to videos from HorseNotes.